Hello, Bookish Talks family. This is Faizan, and I have just finished reading another book on personal finance, that is, I'll Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. There is a long list of books on personal finance that I have read and shared reviews with you. Those include famous books like The Psychology of Money, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Intelligent Investor, and then some less famous books like The $100 Startup or The 10x Rule by Grant Cardone. Having read so many books on personal finance, let me be very honest with you. There is just one book that has remained very close to my heart, having read all these personal finance books. And unfortunately, that book is not as famous as it should have been. The title of the book is Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. The book is not currently in my hand because a friend of mine has borrowed and he'll be returning that back to me tomorrow. But Richest Man in Babylon is the book that I can say with full confidence that if my son or my younger brother asks me that if you recommend me only one book on personal finance, if there is a one book that I have to pick on personal finance, what should be the book? I can assure you that it will not be Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It will not be The Intelligent Investor. It will not be The Psychology of Money. The book will be The Richest Man in Babylon. The rest of the books that I have just named, those are just talking in technical terms about the same principles that have been given in George S. Clason's book, The Richest Man in Babylon. And the book, it has been over a century that the book has been published. It was published in, if I'm not wrong, 1926 or 1927, almost a century. But the principles are as relevant as those were back in those days. There are two qualities of the book that makes this book so close and deep to my heart. Number one, the stage set by author for explaining complicated things to the reader in the simplest possible way. And number two, how convincing he is to implement the financial lessons that we often hear around us. Let me talk in detail about these two qualities. First quality that I just talked about, the stage set by author to explain the finance lessons to the people. What happens in the book is there is a city called Babylon, famous historical city, and in that city there is a very wealthy man called Arcade. The Arcade is a very successful businessman. He's a very wealthy person, and one day he decides to teach the lessons of wealth he has learned for his entire life to the people around him who are claiming to be poor. On the gates of the city, he conducts a sort of class where he calls all the people willing to learn the lessons of wealth. Now, in that class, there are people with different walks of life. There are merchants, there are sweepers, there are shopkeepers, and there are people who are barely making enough to eat food. But there is one thing common amongst all. None of those is massively wealthy, and each of those claim that they are barely making the means to make the ends. Now, how does Arcade begin with his financial lessons? He asks a person, what's your income? I'm giving you hypothetical figures here because I don't recall exact figures. Someone says, I'm making $50 a month. He asks another person, what's your income? And he says, I'm making $200 a month. Then he asks different people, different responsibilities. Now, at the end, he concludes that there are people sitting in that classroom from different walks and shades of life, making different amounts of money. But by the end of the month, they are yet again waiting for their paycheck with their accounts or with their balance or with their wallets emptied. And he teaches them that different amounts of income, different sets of responsibilities. How come at the end of month you all are emptied with your wallets? The reason is, it is not the issue of making more or less money. It is the issue of managing the money well. And then, having set the foundation, he starts teaching the lessons of personal finance. And that is the second quality of the book. How convincingly he teaches the lessons. For example, the first lesson in the book is quite very simple. And today's simplistic term, I should say, the lesson is save 10% of your income every month. That's it. But look how beautifully he has molded the concept. And he has said that his title of the lesson is Pay Yourself First. And in the explanation of that lesson, he talks about once you are paid, what you start doing is you start paying others instead of paying yourself first. Once you receive the salary, you go and start making payments to the people who owe you. The shopkeeper from whom you bought clothes, the merchant from whom you bought groceries, the subscriptions that you have had, or somebody from whom you took the loan. You start paying others instead of paying yourself first. What the book suggests is that the first thing that you should be doing is pay yourself first. And by that it means the 10% of your income, the moment you are paid, should be go into your savings. Paying yourself first is the place where you take out 10% of your income and put it into your savings. That is, pay yourself first. Now, once you proceed in the book, you will see other simple lessons, but those are so influential, like live below your means, the increase that you have got in your income, and make money work for you, and things like that. There are powerful lessons that are explained in complicated way in lengthy books like this one, but those are explained in a layman's language. Now, what's the issue with most people once they try to learn personal finance? They start with books like this one, and this books like these will talk about what are the credit card percentages or rates, or the banks, how much banks charge you for different types of transactions, what are the types of loans that you can get on your credit card, what is credit card score, and things like that. These are too complicated for a layman to understand if you do not have the basics of personal finance. So the basic book to start with for learning personal finance, it is The Richest Man in Babylon. I'm not against the rest of the books. In fact, I have talked in great length about books like these on my channel, because each of these have got something valuable to share. But what I'm talking about is, it is a book that encompasses everything that I want to learn, and yet in simplest possible way. Now, in my next video, I'll probably be talking about a book, I'll Teach You to Be Rich. I'm making notes on this, what all the things should I be talking about, because my effort has always been to remain as precise and as concise possible and give you the lessons from the book that I learned, and I wish everybody else who has not read the book should learn. So, no offense to this book or any other personal finance book, but the best book on personal finance, hands down, Richest Man in Babylon. Please give this video a like and subscribe to Bookish Talks. I'll see you in the next one.